Volume 3 of Ladies Grey and Lussie.
Lusai,
I
yeah.
usually go Lussie. I don't know why I went Lussie this time.
Uh, we're
Or
gonna get some mango lussies.
is it,
Is it
or is
Lassies?
it,
Is it?
and hear me out,
What?
is it Lussii?
I think it's Lucy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had never thought it that way, and then I
Does it
thought
come
too much
from
about the double I.
does it come from Latin or Greek?
Right.
Is
Why
the
is there a
question.
double I? Because it's Lucis or Lucis.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's like it's more specifically Lussus naturae. Like it's specifically supposed to be like a scientific species name, which is always Latin. Oh, it
Troll
also
Latin.
apparently translates to freak of nature.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice touch, Hussy. I don't know how I didn't know that by now. That's good. That should be one of those like fun Homestuck trivia everyone knows. How is that not one of the like the common like did you know? That's fun. Uh anyway, this is for Live Laugh Stuck. Eventually, I will be uploading these to YouTube. I haven't yet. I've just been sitting on them because you can't attach more than one YouTube channel to uh, your Twitch channel, and I have mine currently attached to my other one for my Dragon Age stuff, and I haven't switched them yet because switching back and forth is very annoying. So they're not uploaded to YouTube
Mhm.
yet, but eventually they'll be uploaded to YouTube as VODs, and eventually they will be edited down for podcast episodes. So that's what this is for. It's to teach Moosie more about the wonderful world of Homestuck and to just take a break from actual Homestuck. So I actually haven't decided how many volumes we're gonna do before we uh, do Problem Sleuth and then go back to normal Homestuck. Because
Gosh, I
going through,
forgot how many there are.
there's 18. Going through all of these, my the schedule I have for this for every
You
other
should
week.
scooch away from that epilogue.
Oh, sorry. You're right. I'm sorry.
I've been
I
spoiled by seeing two people that I have no idea what they are.
good. Um, but yeah. So if we do every other week with like no skips or anything, that takes us to the end of March. I won't be living in this apartment, hopefully. So we will be taking breaks. I just don't know how many or when. We have to get Tizius is volume 8. That's so many volumes. Volume 8.
It is volume 9 is halfway.
Yeah, volume nine's halfway.
What's volume 9? Who's in volume 9? Okay, gotcha.
Dragon Ball Z.
And Amicia again.
Oh yeah. Why is that the image for this?
Don't think
Amicia
about
again.
it too hard.
Okay, I guess.
It's the other one.
I know it's the other one. I just don't know why they chose.
It's a fake out.
It's a bad fake out. I'm taking that bold stance. Sorry. Okay, so Tizius will be 11/7. So November 7th if we um don't have any things. I don't know, man. That's after Dragon Age time. I might be a whole other person by then. Anyway, we're on volume 3
Let's do it.
Tree.
and oh my god, I'm going to do that. I had a nosebleed earlier today, so now I'm just so paranoid I'm going to have another nosebleed. Anyway, we will do Skylla first. Putting one foot in front of the other, you continue on through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. That thing is friendship.
I was gonna say hot dogs.
That too. And orange creamsicle is one of those things. But friendship technically isn't a part of cherub culture. So,
Yeah.
incorrect.
Unlike Will Smith, which, as we all know, is a universal constant.
Yeah. You are on the prowl for more. It would have perhaps been wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you are fully healed. Well, trying to think if any of your new friends... maybe Sarava would have been okay to stay with.
Yeah.
But as Martha Stewart said, visitors, like fish, begin to smell after 3 days. You are almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you next?
I've never voiced this character before.
Skylla?
Yeah.
Skylla, Kariga, or Bronya, or Sama.
Yeah,
You
she's
are
the
Sama.
bear. Bronya Ursama kind of sounds like a Danganronpa character. Danganronpa AU, but all Hiveswap Friendsim.
Yeah. I'm shocked that given that you can just get all of the resources for this game very easily, that sort of thing hasn't been done already.
I mean, I haven't scoured the depths of Itch. It could be.
That's fair.
But yeah, we're doing Skylla. You don't have to do a southern accent if you don't want to, or a rural accent.
I'm going to.
I know. As dawn approaches, you find yourself heading out of the big city and into the rustic outskirts. Man, the sun sure is bright on this planet. It's rising over the crest of the distant hills, a huge fiery ball. The later it gets, the bigger and bigger it grows. Way bigger than you've ever seen the sun on Earth. The volume is kind of low. I don't know. It's I go between wanting there to be higher music and not wanting it to be so fucking loud.
Yeah.
What's that smell? Could it be your flesh beginning to sizzle? Fantastic! You love the country. No wonder the nightlife seems so active in Alternia. They're all nocturnal to avoid brutal daily roasting. You reach into your pocket for your cool new shades, but you appear to have left them at your friend's house. Fuck.
Side note, I wish when it was 100 degrees outside like it is now, we would just become nocturnal and society would just adjust.
Honestly.
Right. For real. Absolutely. But some people like this shit.
Ugh.
It's wild. You gotta get yourself together. The recent physical trauma and extensive blood loss has left you a little fuzzy. You weren't built for this wilderness survival shit. You're starting to wish you just stolen a fucking Lamborghini or something instead of a spaceship. This seriously isn't looking good. The city is too far away now for you to turn back, so you have no choice but to keep walking. Maybe you can find a cave or a hole in the ground. Maybe you can just cover yourself with grass. You wish that someone had mentioned the Death Sun in between offering you alien meat products and calling you their muse. After you're left in the distance, you catch sight of what might be the shimmer of sunlight on glass. A window? A solar panel? You could seriously clean up with renewable energy on this planet. Should you change your trajectory and go towards the shimmer, it might just be a mirage.
Option is change major to environmental engineering.
I lost the save for a second. It was...
Oh, yeah.
It's usually against much darker stuff. Okay.
Well,
Shimmer?
It seems like the correct thing to do would be to go towards the shimmer,
Yeah.
but what if we just didn't?
What if we didn't? You're right. What if we didn't? Forget it.
Yeah. Oh no.
Honestly, you could probably see this one coming. That's so funny. I think that's the shortest game over, right? Like, of,
Maybe.
like, you choose that, and the next one you're dead, basically. Okay, we'll go we'll go towards the shimmer. You turn your aching, stinging meat sack towards the distant, promising sparkle of safety and succor?
Sucker?
Yeah, sucker.
Sucker.
You got it.
Cool. It just sounds wrong, you know? I'm like, it shouldn't be
Yeah.
sucker. You focus on just staying upright, one step at a time. Just keep swimming or whatever. God, this sun though. You need SPF 5 billion for this nonsense. Sorry, I'm just thinking of one of my friends in high school who would just sing that Dory song over and over and over again. Just all the time.
What a dork.
She was. She also knew the entirety of Donkey's lines from the first Shrek by heart.
Oh no.
Oh, good. Good.
We would
That
also
person-
go, huh?
That person sounds like someone who wasn't gonna be a girl for long.
No, she stayed a girl. She has, girl enough, and she got one of those unfortunate Romani tattoos, and
Okay.
but no, she's chill. We used to sing songs from the Labyrinth at each other. So
Oh, excellent.
yeah. Anyway. But then, almost like it had picked itself up to come scuttling to meet you, you suddenly find yourself in front of a long, low structure. You let out a yelp of anguish, pounding on the door. At least, you hope it's the door.
What in the world?
What in tarnation? The door
Honestly,
opened.
incredible restraint that's not what the writer wrote.
Right, yeah. The door opens and you fall inside with one of the most pathetic whimpers of your career. I'm sure it will be suppressed later. Is it blessed in this
Blessed.
darkness? Yeah.
I think so.
Blessed darkness closes in on you. From right beside you comes a snuffling yip, like some joker is making fun of your dire situation. Something warm and wet glides up your stinging cheek.
Hold on, lady. Give him some room.
A pair of hands help you sit up gently. Your eyes haven't adjusted enough to make out more than a couple shapes, one upright and one lower to the ground. It's loss.
Shut up.
Just verbal loss.
Verbal loss.
What were you doing out there? Can you stand?
Do you think the double Y quirk came before or after Lady's name?
After, almost certainly.
Yeah. Strong arms pull you up to your feet. You wonder if everyone on this planet is strong, or if you are just extremely flimsy. They guide you to a chair at the end of a long table. Stutteringly, you begin to explain yourself, that you are an injured, exhausted traveler who is ravenous for pals.
Well, bless your heart. But hold on a tick. Dinner's about to burn.
Now that your rescuer mentions it, you do smell something. It smells amazing.
Funny you should just blunder in here like that. I was just saying, wasn't I, lady? It's been so long since we had any sort of guests who weren't Imperial drones or out to rob us.
You rub at your watering, slowly clearing eyes, and when you look back up, your rescuer oh my god, what is with me talking today? Your rescuer finally comes into focus. She's tall, taller than anyone else you've met here, you think. Also, maybe a little older? Not that you're an expert in troll physiology. She just has an air of knowledgeable competence. She's wearing a fringed jacket and holding up a plate.
There you go. Your oculars feeling any better? By the by, my name's Skylla. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, you say Skylla, not Skylla?
I do.
Wild.
It works better with the accent, in my opinion.
You need to use like a Spanish accent and pronounce those two L's like a Y as well.
I mean, that is what I just did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And this here's Lady.
terrible.
Morph.
I forgot how terrible Lady is. She looks down, and at first you think she means the table, but then you look under the table at the giant monster dog looking up at you. You jolt so hard you almost fly backward out of your goddamn chair.
Whoa there! No need for theatrics.
It looks a little like one of those lassie dogs with a pointed nose, except enormous and pure white. Its barks practically shake the whole house.
Hey there, lady. No need to be rude. They've clearly had one hell of a time, and they don't look dangerous.
Bork, bork, bork.
Just really peculiar. Besides, if they try anything, you and me can take them.
I guess I'll just keep saying Skylla.
You can pronounce it however the fuck you want.
Skylla puts her hands on her hips, staring you down with thunderous yellow eyes.
Right. No funny business, you hear?
You swallow and nod, trying to look unthreatening and obliging. Ready for anything. For instance, friendship? You are so ready for that. Skylla sets down the plate she's holding.
Here, have a grub cake. There's plenty.
That sounds gross as hell, but what's sitting on the plate looks and smells exactly like a normal pancake. Golden brown and crispy at the edges.
There's boiled tree blood, too, if you like.
Pancakes for dinner.
Also churned dairy product.
She puts down a carafe of syrup and a dish of butter. Man, everything here has really weird names. Skylla pours out a cup of some very familiar smelling liquid. Brown bean juice, you guess. Skylla raises an eyebrow.
No? That's just coffee.
She sits down next to you.
You're lucky we're only out in the light at dawn. No one wants to be out in direct Alternian sunlight besides Jade Bloods. And no offense, but you certainly ain't any Jade... Bleh. And no offense, but you certainly ain't any Jade Blood that I've ever seen. At first I thought you were some sort of mutated Lussus, because you just you don't have horns and you were grunting and yipping up a storm back there. But you're an alien, right? Don't worry. I won't call the drones. I'd best get used to being around aliens anyway. Seeing as how I'm going to be seeing a whole mess of y'all come next sweep.
Oh.
She laughs nervously. You aren't sure what she's talking about. Do you even need to specify that anymore? It's just natural law at this point. Gravity, the conservation of energy, and you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Lady, would you mind drawing a bath for our guest?
Bork, bork, bork.
No offense, but you smell like you could use one.
You can't argue with that. You offer her a cautious smile. God, she seems so nice and caring, but you've been burned before. And cut. And generally kicked around by fate. It's a tough world out there, but you want to trust Skylla. Lady takes the bucket in her muzzle and runs out into the yard, getting up on her hind legs and batting at the door latch to open it. It's adorable. The sun is high enough now that the whole landscape outside is washed in white. Oh, God, the dog!
Oh, it's sweet of you to worry. Lussi are fine going outside for a little while in the daylight. Their coats reflect light or something to that effect. I don't really know how it works. I ain't exactly known for my scientific acumen.
You tell her that she seems pretty smart from where you're standing. As cynical as you are becoming, you just can't help trying to be her friend. She's so nice and, wow, really pretty. Not that that's a requirement for friendship, but your retinas would have to be way more scalded than they are not to notice that.
That's nice of you to say. But it wouldn't even really matter if I was a bona fide genius. Someone of my caste could never hope to rise up in the ranks. Best I can hope for is hauling crates on some cargo vessel.
Ranks? Cargo vessel? You swallow your bite of grub cake, ready to ask her if she's thinking about joining the military, but just then a swell of noise erupts from outside the house. Shouts, crashes, and ladies' frantic barks. Skylla gasps and launches herself out of her chair, knocking over the carafe of syrup. It oozes across the table in a sticky wave.
Oh no!
Bork, 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 bork.
Not now!
What the hell is going on?
Bandits! Goddamn Lussus thieves!
Oh no.
You don't get a chance to ask anything else before Skylla careens toward the door, throwing up an arm as blazing white light pours in. Oh god, she's gonna go outside and burn up. She isn't thinking straight. You've got to do something.
Oh no.
Do we stop her, or do we help her?
Well, I want to help her, but we might end up burnt again. But
Yeah.
I think we should help her.
Okay.
Gotta save the dog.
Gotta save the
Yeah,
dog.
of course. The dog is the most important thing on screen. In that includes us.
What the hell? You've already experienced the Alternian sun. It sucked a whole lot. Maybe now will suck less because of how bad it sucked then. Just a sliding scale of suckage. Skylla plunges out into the daylight in the direction of the commotion, and like a big dumb asshole, you barrel out into the blazing hellscape after her. Surprise! It still sucks. You've had sunburns before, but this is ridiculous. This is a fucking monster of a gas giant pointing and laughing at the tiny specks of humanity you represent, trembling before the void. It's a pure assault on all your senses. The light is almost as bad as the heat, and you put up your arms to block the glare, following the dust Skylla kicks up behind her. You doubt your eyes will actually ever adjust to this fuckery, but you can see a little better than before. There are about a dozen of them, all of them trolls, all wearing dark, padded outfits that cover their faces. They look halfway between hazmat suits and SWAT uniforms. All of them have big, fake-looking guns that probably aren't fake. In fact, one of them shoots a laser at your face. You duck, and it leaves a blazing heat trail across your cheek. But as all of you is currently burning, it doesn't really break your stride. Skylla throws herself into the fray, letting out a war cry accompanied by the sound of a fist hitting flesh. It's 12 against 2, which, if you remember your fractions right, is not unlike 6 against 1. But these guys had probably not been expecting a frontal assault, and they had definitely not been expecting a Skylla, who is, frankly, fucking terrifying. She shoves 3 trolls down like dominoes, grabbing up a discarded gun and shooting all 3 while they're on the ground. You have never been in a fight before. A fucking all-out brawl. It's scary. But now that you're in the thick of it, also kind of awesome. Sure, your skin is burning and you could be killed at any moment, but that's just how it goes on this planet. You just gotta get into the swing of things. Take no prisoners. Kill or be killed. Hell yeah!
I just imagine the reader just flailing around doing nothing.
Yeah, it's probably accurate. You pop one of the bandit trolls in the face. Fuck, that probably hurt your fist more than it hurt the troll, but it does throw them off balance for long enough for Skylla to smash the butt of her gun into the side of their head.
Yeehaw! Hell yeah!
She gives you a wild grin. The two of you are beaming at each other while a hostile alien sun tries to boil away the liquid from your eyeballs, and a bunch of bandits try to dognap a giant monster. You love this girl. In a friendship way. But still, you love her. You make an awesome team. Another troll comes up behind Skylla and she smashes an elbow into their throat, grabbing them by the front of their uniform and suplexing them onto the dusty ground. I really do love how much they actually use Unity, or not Unity, Jesus Christ, Ren'Py, actually like moving the little guys around.
Mm-hmm.
She wails on them with her bare hands. God, she's really hot.
Get lady!
Oh, right. You stumble over to where the Lussus is thrashing inside a big black net. You don't have any way to cut her free, but she's already doing great on her own, biting through the fibers with her big sharp teeth. You hold the net still for her to finish the job, then pull it off her so she can join the fray.
So majestic.
So
Yeah.
majestic. It's over fast after that. How do they even get Lady into the net in the first place? She's a giant and quick, grabbing trolls in her jaws and shaking them like chew toys. The remaining 5 who are still standing jump into their weird little dune buggies and make tracks. Emphasis on the bug. They look like scuttling little beetles. Skylla chases after them for a few hundred yards, throwing the gun after them and shouting obscenities.
And stay away, you hear? Tell the rest of them why you don't ever fuck with a Rusty's ranch.
She stands silhouetted against the blazing sun, the dust trails vanishing into the distance. You are awash in heady victory, giggling like a lunatic before the adrenaline kind of drains out of you all at once. You are violently reminded of your fucked up ribs and recent blood loss. The Alternian sun beats down, and your arms are already covered in raised patches of red skin. This is a sunburn turned up to 11.
Whoa there, are you? Are you okay?
Skylla is swaying too. A spray of olive green blood covers her cheek. At least the rainbow blood on the planet means you can be sure it isn't hers. But she still looks she still looks rough. Kind of how you feel.
Lady. Come here, girl.
Wow. You're gonna sit down. Maybe just take a little break. The pale landscape swoops, going even paler.
No, you can't rest here. You'll die, dumbass. I'm not letting anything happen to my new best friend.
Aw.
Get up.
New best friend. Holy shit. That makes you so happy. You absolutely can't die here. Not when you've just made such an amazing friend. Somehow the two of you manage to drag each other across the yard and toward the house. Hive, you're gonna get this lingo down if it kills you. Whenever you feel yourself about to fall forward, you lean on Skylla. When you start to fall back, Lady is there to brace herself against the back of your knees. She's such a good lasses. You wonder if she'll be your friend too. Her muzzle is dripping with a soup of multicolored alien blood. When you get back into the darkness of the hive, you can't see shit.
Dang, your species really ain't suited for this kind of environment, huh? You can't even see in the dark.
In demonstration, you walk right into the table. You've about had it with tables. You are sworn enemies at this point.
Please don't knock down my nutrition platform. I built it myself.
She sounds exhausted but giddy. Dang, you really did that thing, didn't you? You kind of want to go in for the hug, but that sunburn is really something. It feels like tiny needles piercing your arms and cheeks. The back of your neck is a colony of fire ants. Okay, but that tiny needles thing, whenever I try to describe what getting a tattoo feels like, it feels like getting a sunburn. Until it gets to, to the more painful parts of it. But that's what it feels like to me.
I guess I haven't had a sunburn in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't go out that much.
Fair enough.
But I did recently get a tattoo, which just felt like a needle scraping through the skin.
I don't know.
To me.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like that, but I don't know, to me it also feels like a sunburn.
Interesting. Oh yeah! Feels real bad, don't it? Come on, there's only one cure for sun rash.
Skylla takes your hand. Gosh, this is next level friendship stuff. She leads you through her hive, and who knows if you're ever going to get all your vision back. Maybe you're just blind for life. You'll have to get a cane and a whimsical aesthetic and learn to navigate the world by smell alone. No, that would be stupid.
Here we go. My coop isn't huge, but you're kind of scrawny.
Mm-hmm.
What are you waiting for? Take your clothes off.
Oh my.
Man, the sun must have fucked with more than just your eyes, because you would have sworn Skylla just told you to take your clothes off.
You are seriously not getting into my Recupera-kun in those filthy rags. I'm not even sure what those clothes were supposed to be originally.
Grip Sarava's wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't so sure about your look either. Another new friend of yours told you it was rad, but you were both a little high at the time. You might be a little high right now. You wonder if sunstroke causes auditory hallucinations. Also, you don't know what a Recupera-kun is.
Hmm? Really? Then what the heck do you sleep in on your planet?
You hear rustling, followed by the sound of clothes hitting the floor, and then a weird gloop, gloop, like something getting into a bathtub, only thicker.
If a troll didn't have soap, well, I don't rightly know what would happen. But I reckon it wouldn't be great. It could speed the healing process for burns and small wounds. I'm not sure what it's going to do to your weird alien anatomy, but I don't see as how it's going to make it any worse.
You tell Skylla that, in your experience, things can always get worse. Especially from her perspective right now, since she's about to see you naked. Nothing like a little self-depreciating humor as an A+ cover for crippling insecurity. Skylla laughs.
Come on now. I'm sure you're a perfectly healthy example of your species. Just get in already. I promise this isn't any sort of pale solicitation.
So, Morels canonically get into Recupera-kuns naked together sometimes. I guess
Yeah.
this is what it's saying.
Yeah, sounds correct. Or flushed, for that matter. I know it's awkward, but I only got the one coop.
Right. Okay, yeah. You could totally do this. You can make this not weird. Of course, you trip taking off your goddamn pants, and Skylla starts laughing all over again. Not in a mean way, more in a chill, please join me in my slime bathtub, old chum way. In a non-awkward way. In a friend way.
Oh, we got it already.
Yeah,
We got it.
Saving the dog is always the correct answer.
of
Which
course
means
it is.
we have to go down the bad path now. I kind of
Yeah.
like it when we hit the bad path first, so then we can end on a high note. It is what it is, though. Also, like, the perspective just fucks me up. Like, that's the stomach, but it never feels like it when I look at it the first time. I'm like, what is this? You
The
know?
reader's stomach
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
their tiny little stick legs.
yeah. It's just hard for me to parse what that is the first time, you know?
Mm.
Okay, let's go the bad option. So there are a few routes I've never done the bad route on. I don't think this is one of them, but it is one I don't want to do. It's like choosing. I have a hard time doing the bad routes in these when I know they're going to be bad.
Mm.
Because I like things to go well in video games.
Yeah. So
Oh.
stop her.
Get
Stop her.
fucked.
I know.
The no hot dog route. Or maybe the yes hot dog route. I'm just thinking of the other route where the good end was hot dogs.
Yeah. Skylla is bigger than you, and she has the strength of both desperation and a superior genome, so you don't feel great about your chances. But you have to try. Skylla is too upset to be careful. You have to stop her from hurting herself. You stumbled into her house all gross and pathetic and alien, and she didn't turn you away. She gave you pancakes, for Christ's sake. Do people ever spell it like Christ's sake? Okay. Grab cakes. Whatever. It isn't just the sun. From the number of voices, there's got to be 20 people out there. She doesn't stand a chance. You run up behind her and hook your arms under hers, hauling her back by the armpits. She struggles, jabbing her elbows into your aching ribs.
Let me go! You don't understand. They'll take her. Lady!
I don't know.
You hold grimly on, going limp and using gravity and your own dead weight to pull her down to the floor. Sorry, Moosie, were you about to say something?
No, I was just saying, oh no.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Yeah. Through wheezing breaths, you tell her she can't go out there. Didn't she just tell you that you'd never have survived if it had been later than dawn? You probably aren't making much sense, but you keep up a stream of worthless bullshit until something catches. Would your Lessus really want this for you, Skylla? Would Lady really want you to sacrifice yourself for her? Skylla goes rigid, and then all the fight just drains out of her like blood down a drain. She sags back into your arms.
Aw.
The two of you watch Lady thrashing in a huge black net as several of the figures haul her away. The sun is too bright to see them clearly, but they appear to be herding more white creatures out of a paddock and into a collection of vehicles.
The herd.
She says it so quietly you feel it more than hear it. You continue to watch as Lady is packed into one of the vehicles and they drive away, kicking up clouds of dust that glimmer in the brutal sun.
You can let me go now. I'm not gonna throw myself out into the daylight like a romance novel heroine.
You realize just how tight you're holding on to her and loosen your arms, pulling away and sitting up. Skylla's cheeks are wet with tears, but she quickly shakes her hair into her face to hide it. That makes your heart hurt. You want to tell her that everything is going to be okay, but you make it a point not to lie to your friends. You have absolutely no idea how it's going to be. And before you can say anything at all, she gets up and disappears through a door and further into the house. Give her some space. You decide to mind your own business. Well, you do try the door, but it's locked. Best to keep occupied and do what you can for her. First, you shut the door to keep that sweltering heat and blinding light out. Then you tidy up the kitchen a little. Everything here is oddly textured and colored. The shape's unusually organic. Some of it is worryingly scuttly and alive. You do your best. You mop up the syrup and straighten the chairs. You're just trying to figure out how to get the sink to spit out some water onto the dirty dishes when Skylla comes back out. Her eyes are dry and her hair is combed back out of her face.
Don't you worry about that. You're gonna break something.
She plays with one of her beaded bracelets with the nervous little fidgets of her fingers.
I never could have taken those fellas by myself. Especially not in broad daylight. I want to thank you for stepping in and stopping me. I was overwrought.
You nod, accepting her thanks. She doesn't seem overwrought anymore. Just numb. Wow, this is actually a legitimately terrible situation. Not even in a dumb, zany way like all the other horse shit that has happened to you recently. You wonder who those guys even were.
Lussus thieves. They've come before, but always at night and never in such large numbers. So Lady and me could always take them. I never expected anything like this. For them to come out in force like this in the middle of the day.
She sits down at the table, putting her elbow in a patch of syrup you missed. You offer her the dishcloth and notice several little discolored patches on her arm. It looks like she got burned just from having her arm out the door for like a minute and a half. You're really glad you didn't let her go out there. You've endured a lot of heinous shit in your short span on this planet. Injuries and lots of added insults to those injuries. But the time you spend with Skylla waiting for the sun to go down is some of the worst and most hopeless. You don't know what to say to help her. You aren't actually her friend. You aren't even the same species. The troll-Lussus relationship is a little confusing, but they seem to be some combination of caretaker and pet, more symbiotic than parent and child. Finally, it gets late enough to venture outside, and you follow Skylla out into the empty paddock. There's nothing out here but a broken fence and trampled ground.
Lots of kids lose their lusci. It's just a part of life. I would have been heading into the ordeal's next sweep anyway. I never would have seen her again.
No.
But at least I would have gotten the chance to say goodbye, you know?
It's kind of a bummer how resigned everyone on this planet seems to terrible things happening. Then again, you guess that's sort of true on your planet too. Existence. Just a goddamn mess. You try to give her the most understanding look you can. Just a really good and supportive friend face. You're killing it. But Skylla isn't paying attention to your glowing facade. She's reaching into her jacket and pulling out her phone.
What the hell? My palm husk is blowing up.
Palm husk.
Oh, God.
Skylar drops her phone in the dirt and claps the hand over her mouth. Her eyes sparkle with tears. You pick it up. It's kind of squishy and squirms in your hand a little, which you don't love. You also don't love what's on the screen. It's a troll in a mask holding a gun on Lady, who is still in that net, baring her teeth. The gun looks fake, kind of like a Nerf gun. You bet it's not a Nerf gun. The photo is accompanied by more of that spiky text you can't read. Hey, how can you understand the Alternian spoken language but not the written? You decide not to think about it too hard. Waste of time.
They sent a ransom demand. They say that if I can't pay, they'll sell her. Troll are valued for their strength all over the galaxy. The heiress knows about the black market, but she doesn't do anything about it. She just takes a cut.
You ask her how much the ransom demand is for, as if you have a penny to your name. She tells you a number that sounds stupidly large, even without knowing the exchange rate to Earth money.
They're just mocking me. They know a bronze blood can't afford this. They just want to force me to fail her one more time.
Her voice breaks on a sob. You reach over and put your hand on her arm. She looks at you with big, watery eyes, and you brace for her to fall into your arms, sobbing. You're actually kinda hoping for it. Not that you're the type to want to profit off another's pain, but you're pretty sure that offering comfort in a time of crisis is a first-class ticket to Friendsville. Instead, Skylla gives you a hard shove backward. You take 2 stumbling steps and fall to your ass. Something squishes underneath you. A cow pad or something alive? You aren't sure which you'd prefer, honestly.
Sorry. I didn't actually push you that hard. Your species just seems pretty flimsy. I don't want sympathy right now. Especially not from you.
Ow.
She stands framed between the 2 moons, some trick of perspective making her look just as distant, and just as sad. Not that moons are inherently sad. Whatever. That's not the issue right now. Had Skylla been lying to you before when she said she doesn't blame you? She'd even thanked you for stopping her from killing herself.
Nah, I don't blame you. I just can't stand the sight of you. Looking at you just reminds me of losing Lady, and I don't think that'll ever change. Sorry. I really was hoping we could be friends. It's been a really long time since I've seen anybody out here that goes on 2 legs instead of 4. But I just don't think it's going to work out. If you start walking now, you could probably make it back to the city before sunrise. Or there's a Jade Blood colony nearby if you want to inflict your personal brand of assistance on them. Bye.
You leave with your proverbial tail between your legs, and the last glimpse you get of Skylla, she's standing next to the empty paddock, staring at the ground.
Aw.
Fucking sucks, ma'am. Sad. Sad shit.
Genuinely good bad ending. Absolutely awful.
The fucking worst. When will package arrive? I was hoping it'd be here, so it'd be a good time to take a break. But it's not here.
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
It's like the very end of the day, or even like, oh, we decided not to deliver today. It'll be Monday.
Yeah, well, it's from Amazon, and sometimes they deliver at like, I don't know, 7 or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I must scroll down to the next one. No, we still got... My mouse is so loud. But mice are also expensive, especially because I get this upright, the vertical mouse for my hand.
Mm.
Bronya! What do we decide with Bronya?
I think Moosie was gonna narrate, and you said I never got a straight answer of who you wanted to voice Bronya.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it if you want.
No. I said I was gonna voice because I was gonna steal all the stuff from Anna.
Oh, right. Never mind then.
Okay. You've been traveling... Wait, why are we in a cave network? You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. The rigid stone is a welcome respite from the eerily organic infrastructure you've been encountering, but it is also providing an unwelcome respite from friend-making. Maybe it was too much to hope for, that this cavern would be home to another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the big city behind was a horrible mistake. Just maybe these dark, cold tunnels are completely devoid of... Oh, hang on, there's a bunch of buildings in the distance.
Oh, God, now I don't know my Bronya voice. Oh, hello. I thought you were one of my girls, but you don't look like a Jadeblood. Or anything else, actually. How strange.
You convey your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You are lost and lonely, and your ribs are still broken, you think. Honestly, the ribs are fine. You could just use another friend or two.
I see. My first responsibility is to my Jades and the Mother Grub, so I can't make any promises of friendship just yet, but you do look like you need someone to take care of you. Here in the Brooding Caverns, we follow a few simple rules. Don't invite drama from top down below. Protect the Mother Grub. We have no hierarchy, but do what I say.
Oh, you're not gonna voice the 1, 2, 3 thing?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even parse it.
Fair.
I will next time.
Okay.
Let's do everything we can to keep our current record of dozens of sweeps without any Jades being culled.
You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you nod your head.
Good. I'll take you to our hive. Follow me.
You follow her into the hive, into her hive, which looks like a school or some kind of dormitory with multiple rooms and multiple floors.
Usually more of my Jades are around. I suppose that everyone is out watching the Imperial drones arrive with the filial pails. Girls, we have a visitor to our caverns. 1. Don't be alarmed by their bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless and quite weak. 2. Do not give them more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm Jadeblood welcome.
She claps her hands. No one else is around, but you stand to attention and give her the thumbs up to show that you read her loud and clear. You notice that she called you visitor and not friend, but that's okay. You can do whatever it takes until you're upgraded from visitor to friend, or at least charity case. You follow her upstairs, and she stops at a big room on the second floor. When you step into it, you have to clap your hand over your mouth to keep from gagging at the revolting sight. There are big, baby-sized, larvae-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying and inchworming out of the kiddie pools of green slime. What the hell?
This is our nursery. Most of these wigglers are sick or injured, so we look after them in here until they're well enough to go back out to the cavern and spin their cocoons.
She looks shifty all of a sudden, giving you some side-eye like she's sizing you up. You try to look very non-threatening and also 100% trustworthy.
We keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we do it. I guess it just feels right to me to take care of them, the same way I take care of my Jades.
A nursery, huh? You look around again with this new information. You guess you can sort of see how the wigglers look like babies? You can't believe that one of these things could grow up to be anything that looks like Bronya, but this is an alien planet, so who knows? She takes you over to a shelf that seems to hold medical supplies. You're not sure what can be done for your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinet, you don't see anything that looks high tech, like the thing that fixed your arm.
I guess that most of what we have is stuff from the Wigglers, and I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre anatomy to know if it will help. But if you're not completely sure how to do something, it's best to try anyway. 1. Even if you fail, everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2. Maybe you won't fail. You never know.
You're not so sure about applying this ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined. It might be rude to say no. Oh,
Go for it. Or no.
I'm gonna go with go for it. My ribs are already broken, so where's the harm?
Okay, come here. Lift up your shirt so I can get. Oh my gosh. Lift up your shirt so I can get to your injured bellow sack enclosures. Yes, like that. Turn the part that's all bloody and horrifying toward me.
She has something that looks like some kind of ointment? It's a shade of bright green, similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery, and it also seems to be glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong about applying it to your skin. But despite your optimism, the second Bronya... Oh, sorry. There's 2 of her now. The second Bronya rubs some of it on your broken skin, you feel a searing hot pain like you just got doused with poison. You flinch back instinctively. Your momentum carries you too far as you step back and you trip on something behind your feet. You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use. You're going down. You're yelling timber. You feel something soft and squishy break your fall, and you hear a terrible scratching noise and some kind of animal squeal.
You are not happy reading this.
You have fallen right into one of the regulars. Onto one of the regulars. You roll off it, but there's no use. It's squished flat and you're covered in olive fluid that you think might be its blood. You look up to see Bronya's horrified face and know that there is no hope for friendship in those vengeful eyes.
You might want to run before I throw you out of the window and break the rest of your bones. Truly, what is the fucking death count of their ass by now?
Currently, it's 2.
Currently. Where did they end up accidentally killing the
Wasn't it the hot dog guy?
Yeah,
well, it was the hot dog guy with the ass, but then they also
No,
killed
you
some...
didn't kill Demon with your ass. You killed Demon's hot dog with your ass.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still saying 2.
Yeah, but I mean, because you also killed that other troll in Amesia's route.
Okay,
And you killed...
That's not the death count of our ass.
Well, I couldn't remember how... That's what I was saying, is I couldn't remember how we killed that guy. And didn't we also kill Ardada's Lussus? Or did we not?
We just injured our daughter's Lussus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And neither of those were with our ass.
Listen.
Yeah. Okay, nope, no healing. Just, I'll heal on my own fine.
Oh, well, if you're sure. I'm worried about you, though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends. I just watched fucking an analysis video on Steven Universe Future, so I'm just like big Steven Universe vibes over here.
You try to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street, after all. She doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead?
Well, sure, there are things around here that I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know that I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. It's not easy to be the one in charge. You have to be 1. Conscientious, 2. Considerate, and 3. Competent at all times.
You try to think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, or competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey, new planet, new you. You assure her that you have what it takes.
I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time for a visit to the Mother Grub.
You're careful you're careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out of the nursery. She takes you back outside, and these caverns are even bigger than you first realized. They're also dark and cold and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead up to the planet's surface. Does she really just live down here all the time? To make some conversation during this cold hike in a damp cave, you mention that living underground like this seems kind of depressing. Rude. You realize too late that this wasn't very tactful, and she doesn't get angry at your conversational gambit of insulting her home.
Oh no, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else. I quite enjoy it. The brooding caverns are a place for life and birth, not death. That's pretty uncommon on Alternia.
You're still not sure what she means by brooding caverns, but you guess it has something to do with the wrigglers in her nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of a ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of this cavern. It's enormous, probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more wrigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls, and the larger stalactites, and with some young trolls crawling out of them. Walking, flying, and crawling among the wigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters of all kinds and shapes and sizes. In the center of the cavern, there is... I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge many-legged queen bug of some kind, with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of her head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs, from which you assume the gray wrigglers will hatch. And marching through all this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets, either to or away from the mother grub. They look armed and they move like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You are instinctively terrified of them.
This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Jade-bloods like myself are entrusted with looking after this process, which is, of course, a very special job. 1. The Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs that hatch new grub broods. 3. After the wigglers emerge from their cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by Lussus to help care for them. 4. Together, the young trolls and their Lussi will go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up, or get cold, or whatever.
As Bronya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left, and in the process, tramples over a few wrigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Luci cry out, crowding around their dead or injured charges. Nope. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears up on its hind legs, hitting one of the other Luci with its front hoof.
Oh, geez, not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever a Lussus goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's the potential for it to lash out at other Lusci, the Wigglers, or the Mother Grub herself. We Jadebloods cannot let that happen!
She looks so concerned, a marked contrast to how confident she's seemed before now. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems like now's your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue Lussus, and that someone could be you?
Save.
Let's be a weenie this time. Maybe that will be the bad ending.
Be a weenie.
You definitely do not like the idea of wading into a monster fight, not even to save the progenitor of your new friend's species. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is so focused on protecting all these helpless toddlers and distressed animals instead of taking care of you.
Ugh.
You stammer out that you don't think you can take on any kind of monster right now. In fact, you just felt another stab of pain in your ribs. You might be blacking out. Bronya's concerned face turns in your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground, and your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face, and she looks like such a mom, but also such a friend, like some sort of combination of these two concepts.
Yikes, you don't look so good. I can't leave you alone, not when you're in such bad shape. Maybe I could carry you on my back while I try to stop the rampaging Lussus?
Your heart flutters, turn into pinpricks of alarm. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. You try to think of what you can say to dissuade her, something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mother in danger behind you in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. But before you can speak, you hear a commotion behind her. She turns to look over her shoulder, and her face sags with relief.
Yes, the other Jades are here. They should know what to do. We've taken care of crises like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help.
If you crane your neck, you can just glimpse a crowd of trolls corralling the rogue Lussus away from the mother grub, while other trolls calm the remaining Lussi and swoop up any wrigglers in harm's way.
It looks like I needn't have worried. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. I'm so proud.
You take this opportunity to compliment her on what a good leader she must be, to have trained the others so well. Super smooth. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cavern floor, kneeling at your side.
This could have gone quite badly. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. It just goes to show, sometimes the best thing you can do for the group is to take care of the weakest person in it.
You kind of want to object to being called the weakest person, but you did just fake a fainting spell for attention, so maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below, and even with your injuries, you feel close to content and quite hopeful about how this relationship is progressing. You notice that at your side, several wigglers are blindly squirming around, confused and crying. There are some young trolls here, too, looking all around, all lost and bereft. You're not sure if their Lussi ran off with the others that got involved in the fracas, or if these little guys are orphans now. Now that you've seen them out in the natural cavern light, the wigglers look less like maggots to you. In fact, they're even kind of cute. You can see why Bronya would want to take care of them. One of the smallest wigglers, closest to you, has somehow flipped himself over onto his back and seems unable to right himself, his little legs waving in the air while he cries. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach out to scoop him up and cradle him to your chest, rocking him back and forth until his cries quiet down.
Wow, you have a very strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. You almost look like you could be his Lussus, or a Jade Blood.
You are pleased that she approves of your caretaking display. The wiggler's cough breaks through your haze of smug satisfaction, and when you look down, you realize that he seems to be having some trouble breathing. You point this out to Bronya.
Good observation. You really are a natural at taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be very attractive in a potential friend. But as for the Wiggler, this is definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones have noticed that he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be culled for sure.
Bronya takes the Wiggler from you, and you're more than happy to hand him over considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby that's not your species. Also, your broken ribs make holding a baby kind of painful, and Bronya holds the Wiggler carefully, but with perfect ease, just like you hope she'll cradle you and your new friendship in its infancy. Once Bronya feels assured that her Jades have the situation at the Brooding Caverns under control, you both take the Wiggler back to the Jade Blood Nursery. You hover around uselessly while Bronya sets up some kind of crib filled with green slime. You're a little concerned when she takes the Wiggler and submerges him under the slime because, he was already having some trouble breathing? Surely drowning in slime won't help?
The soaper should help strengthen his bellow sacs and soothe his sore shoot. When he gets healthy again, I'll take him back to the cavern and set him free to make his cocoon and pupate. But he's so small. It's unlikely that he'll survive the trials or be selected by Lussus.
You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system set up with the Wigglers and the trials and the culling seems kind of brutal. Pretty brutal.
What? Oh, no, I would never suggest. This is just the way the world works, and it's fine. It's fine. The trials are how young trolls prove that they're strong enough to survive. It's only right for the weak to be culled. It's the purpose of Jade Bloods to ensure the continuation of our species, and consequently, the hemospectrum. 1. We are not revolutionaries. 2. We're meant to do our jobs and keep our heads down and keep things running smoothly. 3. I would never presume to question the basic tenets of Alternian society. That would bring negative attention from the Highbloods, and I just want to keep my Jades safe.
You look around at the nursery and all these injured or undeveloped Wigglers that Bronya was apparently supposed to let die. You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works. She's looking at you like she's scared you'll call her on it and expose her altruistic tendencies. You try to salvage this conversation thread. Did you say that calling Wigglers sounded brutal? You meant neutral. Yes, you feel 100% neutral on this topic, neither committed to the culling side of things, nor eager to take up arms in revolution.
Ah, yes. Neutral is how I feel about it as well. What a good word to describe exactly how I feel about all controversial political subjects. Did I mention that keeping this nursery isn't technically illegal? Because it isn't. Technically. There is no reason for any of Triss's drones to come investigating our hive, and if any drones do come knocking, we have nothing to hide. No borderline revolutionary ideas will be tolerated within these walls.
Bronya laughs nervously and looks around the room like she's making sure that any Imperial drones hiding in here heard her announcement. You feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and why shouldn't she? Because she's clearly telling the truth. If you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding and neutral ways.
Thank you. That means a lot.
You cast about for something to change the subject and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronya's face brightens, and she lifts up your arm gently so she can touch the injured part of your torso, examining it in her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder if her touch has healing properties.
I'm glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer.
Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be? Or was she just making a general statement?
If you're not in any more pain, hopefully that means your injuries will heal soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friend.
You are overcome. Your eyes fill with tears. Bronya smiles at you and squeezes your hand. Nope.
Self-care comes first.
Being a chicken.
Yeah.
Are those
Okay.
are those wigglers or are those baby trolls? Like small, like kid trolls?
Those are wigglers.
Okay. I didn't
Which are
expect them to
also
have
baby
faces.
trolls.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're just little caterpillar looking things, but with a troll face on them. Now let's do the bad ending.
So, first time, you gotta be brave. Second time, you gotta be a weenie.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Fight the monster. Save the day. The bison lusus seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other luci have now gotten riled up too, with some of them trying to gather wigglers to keep them out of harm's way, and others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like it could turn into a monster stampede, and they're close to the mother grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great. Fighting a monster single-handed seems like a daunting first step in a friendship, but you did tell her you could be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop that lusus, calm down all the other luci, and protect the mother grub, all without breaking a sweat and hopefully without breaking any more bones either.
Whoa there. I was going to suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take the lead on this.
That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally, you would be all about sitting back and letting her protect you because, well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. You do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You take down raging bison back on your home planet all the time. You're known for it, actually.
Well, if you say that this isn't your first ungulate rope and gallop exhibition, I'll believe you. I'll hang back to let you give it a shot. But if it gets too overwhelming in there, I'm right here. 1. Caring for the mother grub is my responsibility as a Jadeblood. 2. I'd never abandon a friend to deal with a mess on their own, if we end up being friends, that is.
Oh, hell yes. Now you have reason to hope. You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bison have horns like that? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure they don't all have teeth that nasty. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. At first you try to calm the Lysis down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths in reaction to its trampled charge. You're not even sure it can understand human speech, come to think of it. You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the mother grub? You look around to see if any of the other Luci look vaguely like Earth shepherd dogs, but no dice. You hesitate too long, and the Lussus turns away, its furious eyes falling on the mother grub. It stamps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are capable of. It's obviously about to charge, and you can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it football style, doing everything you can with your flimsy human body to drag it onto its side. It half works. You plow into the Lussus and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over onto a nest of wigglers, taking you down with it. Wigglers and young trolls go bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress, and their loci descend upon you in a rage. Everything is chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the bison lysis, which is very worrying for all of your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside of you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other pissed off loci trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you hear a commotion and what sounds possibly like you hear a commotion and what sounds possibly the trouncing of some smaller loci that were trying to get to you.
It does
I
feel like
think
they
it
missed
is
a word.
missing a leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they forgot a word.
Yeah.
The crowd of beasts around you scatters, and then you hear her.
Oof, I'm having a hard time getting this thing off you. And he's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. Where's a bronze blood when you need one?
You don't know what she means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth.
Maybe don't try to speak. Or move. Or help.
You experience a sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing Bronya and becoming her friend. Or it could be the compression of all of your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by the mass of bison flesh on top of you. But could it be? Are these other people here to save you?
Finally, I was wondering where you all had gotten off to. Let's all work together, girls. 1. You two grab his horns to keep the head still and keep it from biting anyone. 2. The rest of you, come around with me to its backside so we can push it off without getting kicked.
You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that sound more confused and less furious. The pressure and pain on your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing's weight shifts, and then they must succeed in dragging it off you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not over yet. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up at the cavern ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises.
Uh-oh. The other loci are still agitated. Get down there and try to calm them down. Protect the mother grub.
You try to lift yourself to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all your bones got turned into confetti. Painful, painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now your head is in Bronya's lap. You try to focus more on how this is a place for your head to be, and less on the pain.
This is not good. I don't know if my jades could reach the stampede in time, and the mother grub could get injured. Not to mention all these wigglers in danger. Oh no.
You didn't think this situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that had been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could still be a good thing? Maybe they can instill some order?
Fuck! They're going to kill everyone!
She scrambles to her feet, and in the process, letting your head whack down on the cave floor. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at the loci, at the grubs and wigglers, and at the jade bloods. One laser beam skims the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes, and a few stalactites shake loose, falling on the drones and the loci and the wigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe. A whole rainbow's worth of troll, wiggler, and luscious blood is splattering the cavern walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her Jades to the Mother Grub to the Imperiled Wigglers, like she's not sure who to help first.
I can't believe it. This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. All because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I could let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind about my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to you being really fucking stupid.
You shrink under the weight of her glare. She is green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask a question that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends?
Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care.
You killed them all.
You killed them all. That's it. We did the bad ends last. Oh my gosh. Just way more death in this one than the other routes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? What do you think about Skylla and Bronya?
Sorry, my computer. My monitor must have cut out. Do you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like those two peoples.
Yeah.
They seem more amicable.
Yes, yeah. Some of the more normal trolls. They have normal wants and desires. You know, I got a dog. I like my dog. I don't want people to take my dog.
Yeah.
And then I'm responsible for things and I'm kind of neurotic about it, but that's pretty normal. Like this is like normal person on Alternia.
Yeah. And what did the first troll lady do with her bug and that guy
Oh yeah.
like burrowing into him or something?
Yeah. She like fed her tick with a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
As you do.
yeah, just like obviously there's the bigger scale to it, but overall just like normal people problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna tell Rain not to join that we're almost done.
Yeah.
I see. I'm typing.
Yeah.
It was fun. I like Skia. She's great. It was fun to get to do her. I sometimes when I'm a time player, my sign matches up with hers.
Oh, is she a time player?
Yeah. She's a CrossFit time player.
Yeah, it's wild because they didn't actually give a shit about any of the uh actual like implications of their signs. They're just like,
Yeah.
this is the sign for them, and then other people
Some
try
of
to put
them-
implications. Huh?
Yeah. Nothing. I was about to say what you were getting into.
Yeah, and so people try to like work around the sign they're given to explain the sign, and it's like it's fine. It doesn't have to work out.
Yeah.
It is a wild thing to me that they did not consider that when assigning the signs though. Like,
well, I mean, you gotta bear in mind, not all of these characters were, like, considered to have this much depth in the first place, right? So, like, when they started writing the game, like, yeah, it was up to the individual writer how much they wanted to include the sign in the characterization.
I'm still surprised that there's supposed to be so many more characters in Hiveswap Act 2 than Act 1. Like, you said 18 chapters, so 18 times 32.
yeah, well, and then two of the routes have two characters, so 34. Wait, no. 18 times 2 is 36, so 38.
Yeah.
38 characters. we've kind of alluded to this before, but Hiveswap Act 2 does not give equal time to all of these characters.
Yeah.
As might be obvious.
They're essentially, I mean, like, this was pretty public knowledge when this game came out.
Oh,
right?
was it?
Like, these characters are all just background characters that you can speak to in Hiveswap Act 2 with varying levels of importance to the actual plot of that game, right?
Okay.
And, like, this game was written pretty much entirely as a, we're out of money, let's do a thing to get some extra money, and we've got all these characters that we can, like, expand on as a way of doing that.
I'm going to ask a question for you to talk about while I go get my package.
Sure.
So, like, did they already know how relevant some of these characters were going to be? Like, if they know, like, X character is going to have 0 relevance, but we're still going to, like, have... I just... Like, obviously, some characters were going to have more relevance inherently, but I don't know how... If you know how far out they had planned, or if some would have had more or less relevance.
I don't know all of the details. We don't exactly have access to all of the internal documentation and everything, right? But, like, to my understanding, the game had been fully outlined and, like, had been, the game had been fully outlined and, like, I think some of the script had even started being written, but, like... Yeah, I mean, there was room for stuff to change, and I think it would be foolish to think that nothing changed based on reaction to this game, right? But, yeah.
Yeah. Development is certainly a road, a thing,
Yeah.
a journey.
A road, a thing, a journey. I will agree it's all of those things. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Because, like, one character we haven't seen yet, like, I think he just doesn't... Because he's the one we were talking about before that got broken, and so they just removed it entirely. But, so he just doesn't show up at all now.
Oh,
right?
Wait.
Yeah. You're talking last time about someone's puzzle or something didn't work in...
I mean, that character still shows up.
Does he?
It's just... Yeah, I'm pretty sure... I mean... Okay, can I get a reminder on which character exactly this is?
Zebedee.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think he shows up. I could be wrong. I played it once and never again, and we'll play it again, and I'll just have to deal with...
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Playing Ace Attorney in the middle of it. Because I don't think he shows up. I think, like, we go to his house and he's not there. Because the puzzle isn't there. But I could be wrong.
That sounds right.
Sorry, I'm going to be opening a package on stream. I know that's very noisy. But I got packages.
Is it Spurb?
I wish. Actually, I don't. I would die so quick. It's just the packages are smaller than I was expecting, which is fine. It's just like, oh, I thought this was going to be a bigger thing, but it's not. And I don't even know why I have to open it right now, because it's nothing I, like, need right now. Or could even really use right now, unless I want to wash my face. I got some fancy face wash for acne.
The puzzle is broken, but even when the puzzle was in, the character wasn't in the game.
Oh, gotcha.
There's 2 characters whose houses you go to that don't actually show up in the game.
Who's the other one?
It's Karen.
Aw, yeah. Oh, that's true, yeah. They're back to back. We go through Karen's 2 Zebedees, and it's just like, no one here.
Both of the characters were planned to be there, but, you know, development.
I know. It's wild that they had to rush out before adding those in, considering... I don't know. The development of Hiveswap is something else.
Yeah. Act 2 had a lot of production problems, to my understanding.
I just don't know... Like, it was already delayed so long. I guess, I don't know. it's just like whenever you don't actually have a deadline you've told anyone about, I don't understand why they had to then rush and not include the last two characters. But
Yeah, I don't know.
Just budget to pay people, I guess.
That
maybe.
could also be part of it.
Who knows? They're infamously bad about communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm still opening packages. This is my life. It's just opening packages.
That's okay.
I'm very excited because I finally got a, CPAP cord wrangler thing, where like, it like kind of stands up and like you put the hose through it, and so it helps like move the hose around while you like toss and turn in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also just nice to like have somewhere to hang it whenever I'm done with it, and not just like lay it weirdly on my nightstand.
Definitely.
But literally not something to use right now at my desk. Yeah. Who wrote? Skylla. Yeah, I thought Aisha wrote Skylla. Not that it really
That
matters.
tracks.
Um,
Bronya was CL Kyle.
yeah. Yeah. Emma Spar was way too horny for Skylla for it not to be Aisha.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you think that makes sense, because it made sense to me, and then I said it. I'm like, I don't know if that does make sense. But,
I don't know if I could tell from the horniness in particular, but like, just I don't know. Aisha's routes have a tendency to be some of the more serious ones.
yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. Anyway, I guess that's it. I don't know. Any more thoughts on Skylla and Bronya, or let's look up at who we have next. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Gizmo should be on to be Tagora, and I'm very excited about
Excellent.
that.
That's gonna be good. Yeah.
I'm very excited. Tagora, just as a thing, because you can look at the troll call too. The troll call is what we all got before it before the games came out. It was like we would get like a troll drop. I forget how often, but like
It
in
was
leading up, huh?
it was like once a week.
Yeah.
It was before they had started doing Friendsim. They were like doing these little cards for each troll with just like 3 sentences about them.
Yeah.
And then people got really into the characters, and that's why Friendsim happened.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the order of things.
Yeah.
This was back when I was like casually into the fandom, so I saw the troll calls.
Mhm.
I didn't know everything behind the troll calls. I just saw Friendsim came out after it, so I assumed that it was in the
Yeah.
lead up to Friendsim.
I'm gonna pop a link into the Friendsim into the Discord chat.
Yeah.
Because if you go look up the troll call now, you'll find a bunch of they got frustratingly updated on the official website, so they're different now after Friendsim came out. The
I
link
didn't
is
know
to the
that.
originals. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I'll have to compare those. I didn't know that. Anyway, yeah, so you can always look at those if you want to get vibes ahead of time. But we got Ratman, and we got him.
I was just looking at the names of the cards, or like the preview image where it has Lonky Bombix and Ramili Namak.
Yeah.
I think the typical is Lonk and Ramel.
Lonk.
Lonk.
Really, no Ramil.
Really? I always say Ramel, but again, I type to people. I don't talk.
Yeah, fair.
I can't wait to get to Long's route, but I'm just gonna be obnoxious talking about, you know how like communities will have like one weird guy who just like hops between different areas and eventually gets kicked out, and it's just like, oh yeah, you know that one weird guy. Oh yeah, we had to deal with him. Oh, I haven't dealt with him yet. Oh well, you probably will. You're probably due for them by now. You know that one weird guy. That was associated. They get shortened to foot fetish cis lonk guy, or cis lonk foot fetish guy, whatever the order, because lonk is a trans guy, which I guess is. I think that's just a word of God somewhere. I don't think it's on the troll call or it's not in the
Yeah,
route.
it's not. It's one of those things that has just been not explicitly. It's one of those things that's just not explicitly canon. You just gotta believe that it's true, because it is, but they never talk about it.
Yeah. But anyway, and this guy is infamous for being a foot fetishist and being really hard on Lonk being cis. Um, and it's just he's like outside of that, they were just like the most obnoxious little dude. They ended up coming into one of my servers, um, and it just they sucked. They were a minor, and they would lie about their age and like request like not safe for work art from people, and then their age would get found out, and then they'd hop somewhere else and lie about their age again. And it happened over so many years. By the time they got to us, we thought they were of age now. But they just kept being obnoxious, but skirting the, not breaking any rules technically, until we found out that no, um, they were a minor when they joined our server and talked to not safe for work stuff and asked about not safe for work stuff and, requested it from other people. And they only just turned 18. And so we had to kick them and the friend who vouched for them out of the server because it's fucked up. But they're just, they were our resident obnoxious little guy that just got run out of various communities.
There's always one.
There's always one.
Yeah.
At least.
I don't know. And this one was, I mean, I don't want to say harmless because they were a minor getting not safe for work stuff from artists and people, and that sucked. And they were also like, they also sometimes got weirdly hyperfixated on artists. But yeah, they were just, but like, other than that, they were just a harmless, weird little guy. And that's all I can think about when I think of Lonk. I just think of the cis Lonk foot fetish guy. And it sucks because
that I'm glad that I forgot about.
Yeah, I can never.
I can't believe you've reintroduced them to my mind.
I just I hate it because I like Lonk as a character so much, but every time I see him, I just think of the cis Lonk foot fetish guy. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you can look at the troll call. I guess I'll compare the old troll call and the new troll call. And next we'll do of right and wronged. Right with a W. I will give you 3 guesses as to Ratman's profession.
Is a pilot?
Oh, sorry. I guess it makes sense.
Looking at the wrong one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, the other one. He's a rat man because he's a lawyer. He's a little rat guy.
I thought it was a cool call sign for his piloting thing.
No, I just call him a rat man because it's like, he's a little rat guy. He's a schemy little lawyer man. I love him so much. I'm so excited for Gizmo's Tagora. It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be real good.
But yeah, that's it. That's the stream. We'll be in 2 weeks, barring anything that happens. My calendar wants to pop up. So that is the 12th. I should stop being sick by then. It's supposed to last for up to 5 weeks. Huh?
I'll cross my fingers for you.
I appreciate it because it's one of those that's like up to 5 weeks, or maybe for a year, or maybe forever, but probably up to 5 weeks. So hopefully I'll be done with it by then because I'm like already worn out, even though I'm talking a lot. It's like I talk. It's like me talking is an adrenaline rush, and when I stop talking, I crash. It explains so much about me and my podcast. Anyway, so yeah, I will see you in 2 weeks. We'll have Gizmo. We don't have anyone for Vicaire. Is that how you say it?
Vicaire Ratite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any
something like that.
One, but it's 2 weeks. We might get some more people in.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll even make it again.
Yeah, you've been able to. Huh?
I feel like if I make any fan Homestuck stuff, it's just going to be a list of phonemes. Like,
I mean, that's
my phonemes.
yeah. I mean that is a whole genre of fan creation. Um, yeah. So
I'll read your language analysis ravenously.
uh, so thank you all for watching, whether live or after the fact. Whenever I eventually get it uploaded to YouTube, I mean, you can still watch it on Twitch because I
Upload to
highlight it.
YouTube.
I need to upload it to YouTube. I'm just being lazy, and I've given myself permission to be lazy because I've been sick
Yeah.
for weeks. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Everyone, go get your shingles vaccination if you can, because I think sometimes insurance doesn't want to cover it until you're over 50, but you can get it at any age if you have had chickenpox or the chickenpox vaccine and you are immunocompromised or stressed. You can get it if you're stressed. I don't know about anyone else. I feel like there's a couple reasons to be stressed just by existing in life, as we discover through Imspar and Bronya's route.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Go get vaccinated.
Go get vaccinated. Like I was
Spay
so
and
close.
neuter your pets.
I almost got vaccinated for shingles, and then I didn't. Anyway, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks with Tagora and Vicaire. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.